I had planned to skip Sword of the Demon Hunter, but you convinced me that it was worth watching by showing me the Garden of Happiness episodes. Those 2 episodes honestly worked great as a standalone story and really pulled me in. Plus, since you had watched ahead for us, we were able to fast forward the sexual violence sections that originally made me want to skip the show.
I started watching this without you, but the mysteries and the storytelling were something that I knew you would enjoy, so I had to drag you back in.
Sword of the Demon Hunter ended up being very thought-provoking, and there were so many layered details in the visuals and storytelling. I honestly wondered how much extra meaning you could glean if you were a master of the language of flowers. Sometimes they'll explain the symbolism of the flower to you in the episode, though, especially after Ofu is introduced, which was nice.
It was great that they started explaining how some of the flower visuals matched up with the stories that we're getting, and the way that this show did foreshadowing was really good. They left just the right amount of hints so that you could work it out before the reveal in a lot of cases.
Instead of the story being a purely linear 170 or so years of the prophecy, the feudal years were fairly linear, with a few scenes of the 2009 future sprinkled in here and there. By the end of this season, we had spent roughly 50 years with Jinya and met many interesting people along the way. And I really enjoyed the world building around the demons, their powers, and how they can be created by human emotions. And because the show makes you care deeply about the characters, there were some very heart-wrenching moments along the way too.
This really did a good job with the passage of time, although I could never remember what the last date they gave us was, so it was a little disorienting.
Yeah, I wish they would have included how many years had passed instead of just the date. As far as general complaints, I could see if you were the type of person that places a lot of importance on animation quality that you might not enjoy this show. That's not saying that Sword of the Demon Hunter looks bad, it's just that it's not flashy and sometimes it looks like the art is a little muddy. I remember one scene where everyone was at the soba shop and Jinya half turned his head towards the counter, and the way that they drew it made it look like he was a cyclops. Or in one of the last episodes where they were fighting a demon on the bridge and it just showed a panning shot of the empty half of the bridge while we could still hear noises from the fight. But the majority of the show didn't make strange concessions like that with the visuals. I had assumed that with 24 episodes they were going to finish the whole story, but the ending of the season left his main goal of facing Suzune, as well as a couple other plot points, unresolved. The final 3 episodes of the season set up quite a few instances that made it seem like he was going to fight her again, but instead they chose to close out the season with the Foxmere myth. While that was another touching arc, I wish we had spent more time on the core issues of the story as the finale instead.
I wish that Suzune got a little bit more attention as the main villain, and you can see her working in the background in a lot of the conflicts. But it felt like that was mostly just the show reminding you that she was there rather than her actually contributing, aside from the sake incident. And I am always sad when we don't get a conclusion, but the end arc seems like it was meant as a bridge between the feudal and the modern storylines. So probably a good place to end it if we get another season.
If you appreciate an anime for detailed storytelling, lovable characters, and deep character psychology, then I would highly recommend this show. It was an 8 out of 10.